new article that came out January 3rd, 2025. Tracking the post-them fall out. So let's get into this. Let's talk about Gcam, and as I say, and here is the flag of Gcam. As you guys know, this is from that flag wave we had in our NTB episode back in the summer of 2023. When we were waving the flag, we made the NTB flag. That was great times. Anyway, I think let's get into these articles as well. And what do you think about this theme? I mean, it's green on black, and then we have the white here, but the font is legible. You even have to search here. I do miss the image that was here, but you guys can go find that image. It's in one of their stories. And we still have the search bar. We have everything that we need to have here. We have the archive. We have labels if you want to search through this. But we have so much coming into it. And we have picked a name of our new character. And I can announce this, that the new 16 turning 17-year-old character in the book, the new character who will become a part of Gcam, the most powerful and our greatest ally in the school, according to the thing. And we're going to have a lot of things. I've been looking over some old intelligence reports, and we have lots of things that's happening here. It's going to be kind of a complex situation, but her name will be, and it's confirmed to be, it's not going to be like Svetlana from Adventures in Odyssey. It will be Summer. So welcome to our new character, Summer, everybody. And that article is already written, or almost already written, have over 500 words on it as well. So let's get into the story. So let's get into the Fall of Gcam, our greatest ally, written December 28th, 2024. All right, so as you guys can see, we have the flag of Gcam on the screen, and I tried to, actually image editing, this ties into tech. Image editing is actually easier on my phone with some of the applications, and sometimes I talk about, oh my goodness, they don't make any programs for your phones anymore. It's terrible, it's bad. But actually, it's kind of feeling better on my phone to do things, even with the S Pen being stuck in there and broken off. Is it feeling better to do things than it is to do on my computer? Because of course, like paint.net, which is free image editing software, is terrible and glitchy. Anyway, the Fall of Gcam, our greatest ally, was written, and we talked about the fallout was clear from the start. Addison was now the clear leader. During the Steel Grove meeting, I was secretary, and this was not a parliamentary system. My side had the majority. Obviously, this is referencing how in parliamentary governments, you kind of have like coalitions, and then those coalitions come together and they pick someone, they pick a prime minister. So if this was in Europe, let's say France, let's just say France, then I would have been leader, like elected, have most people, delegates, and the random people inside of student council would have voted for me. Kind of like how in the story we're saying, how will the elections should Addison, I said Addison, right? Yes, let's go for Addison. Addison, let's say Addison left, like was being portrayed in the early stories. How would the new leader be elected, or would it just be secession, which would make Geneva president, but then who would be vice president, right? Would it be Vera? Would it be me? Would it be Molly? Of course, we're setting up Molly to be, was set up to be like she is on tape. She is on tape smacking a kid in the face with the shoe and with the hydro flask. So we don't want people who throw metal objects in positions of power. Now that's a sentence I never thought I would have to say. Anyway, so that's what the thing was talking. That's what we're talking about here. But we talk about fiscal responsibility, how they cave to a $6,500 prom funding plan, facilitated fundraisers every week, and our agreement to have unity and work together for better school. Blah, 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 Gcam. All right, this is all referencing how they tried to get me to speak for them, and then kind of did nothing. Anyway, I arrived to school on the mission to make a better place. Unfortunately, we have lost lots of characters here. Like, we have lost some depth, and this is probably why Avaism never took over the school, right? Because, at the beginning of the story, we have a bench. We have a great bench. Towards the end of the story, and into 2024, this story will end in like 2024 of December, October, right? Unless I get updates back, then I can keep it going. But then we'll also have tips on how to do things, right? So we're almost done, guys. We're almost done. We are in January of 2024 in the story, right? Which means I have to keep writing because I like to be 2 months ahead because I don't want the years to lapse. Anyway, the fallout was clear from the start. Allison, who's now the clear leader. Oh yeah, I have to score on the mission. Right. Like I'm saying, we have a great bench. When we start off in this school, when we start off in 2023, and Ethan Shea is running for president, when we have Ava, who could be on the bench to be president next year. Then we have, of course, the vice president. Then we have Maria. Then we have, okay, yeah, like half of GCAM. Okay, half of GCAM would all be eligible. And then we have kind of outsiders that we have sitting around, like Natalie and Jayla. We have people sitting around, right, that could run. They said no, but I mean, it's hypothetical, right? Besides, they start off at 6 and they start skyrocketing high, famous, right? Of course, then we have Denver, set up in 9th grade. So, that's like deep bench, right? Towards the end of the story, and also Hazel, right? Remember how in the beginning of the story, SSA tried to prop up Hazelism throughout the school. Hazelism would have basically been SSA leadership through Hazel. That's 2 years, boom. But no, she got nuked because of what Valerie did to her. Also because of inefficient and ineffective leadership in the school. She failed to assert herself throughout the school, right? And because she failed to assert herself throughout the school and assert herself as a major power, now what we have here is essentially JVN, allied with the president, Addison. Then we got GCAM, which has been more in this story multiple times. You know them, we know them. All right. They're even basically part of the campaign team of Ethan Shea in the book series, right? Which I will link the book, like maybe here or here, so that you guys can buy it when you guys come to the website. Right? And then of course we got SSA, allied with GCAM, and then like NGB, which is 9th grade boys. So, but now we have lost some people. We lost Ava, we lost Hazel, we lost, who else did we lose? I think we lost one more person. Oh yes, we lost Valerie. So we kind of lost what we call terroristic threat. But what we didn't lose was Molly. We didn't lose Ethan. So it's good, because if we lost Molly and Ethan, I mean, there's no story here. Anyway, so yeah, we have lost some people here, but at least we'll have a rise. I can attest that there will be a rise of events happening, right? You know how I always reference, Chase behind the way to the school. Well, this is what's happening. As soon as Summer comes in and she gets established as a character, well, then out behind the woods we go. Anyway, so then the characters, they all come together. They pledge the U.S., the Texas, the Christian flags, and they say the Pledge of Allegiance correctly. Imagine. Anyway, the administration calls in all the 11th grade girls, all of them. So GCAM is primarily 11th grade, 3-2 split. And then JVN is also, and the presidency and the administration is mostly 11th grade girls. This is a student council meeting, just without Ethan. That is literally it, and Denver. That's what this is. Okay. So anyway, we reference this, and I'm like, Denver, what do you think this is about? So I guess this technically makes me president, as the president and VP are in the meeting with their attack. They all have heads of state in the same room. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Since Ava left, Ethan is now secretary, so which makes him technically third in command, because there's no speaker of the house. So that would make Ethan third in command. Anyway, so also attacks are not unprecedented here at this school. We had the chemical perfume. Then we also had the there was the locker thing, or the locker, the thing was stolen. Bags were stolen right out of Denver's locker. So attack, they're not unprecedented here, right? So I guess this makes me Ethan president for like 30 minutes. Then anyway, SSA had contained Molly. Also primarily because Valerie's not there. So, that's like half of your group gone, right? You've contained Molly. And because while GCAM had lost Ava, so they'll down the person, Roddy's wing is also weakened by the loss of Valerie. SSA keep going, keep it up going. Like SSA was easily keeping up with Molly, JV, and GCAM, but we still need that intelligence, right? So we have the technological and the intelligence gathering superiority, though. And Iron Curtain had descended around GCAM, which is falling deeper and deeper into irrelevance, right? We are starting to note on the trackers, on the statistics, on the metrics, that they are falling deeper and deeper into unpopularity within the school. And if you do that, guess what happens? You get Hazel fight, right? Hazel was essentially sitting up there. We had her at number 3. And you know what happened to number 3? They lost 31-14 in the college football playoff, right? Um, they got destroyed, and we cannot have that happening to SSA Allied number 3 is like GCAM, right? So we cannot have that happening, because if GCAM collapses, then thus goes all of the states and school secrets with them. GCAM collapses, then you have other people who couldn't seek in to move within the power vacuum, right? The power vacuum will come and suck in, right? And if that happens, then that could sideline SSA from new experiences. Anyway, back to the story. That's what they can now keep. So of course we have to keep up with all these kids here, right? So you work through what's going on. We try to figure out what's going on. We go in, right? And even though the Ethan Shea for GCA campaign got suspended again, showed that Geneva could lose to Mali in the head-to-head race, right? Which is essentially just showing popularity there on the screen, right? And of course, we showed how Vera coming in as the third power can come in. And polling done by Nathaniel. Ugh, there's 2 hours in polling. Specifically by Jayla and Natalie were more popular than GCAM's power. Obviously, a JNC principal, but Natalie has something going on. So she's kind of irrelevant right now to the story. Well, she'll become very, very relevant soon. Anyway, this makes sense as the JNC principal prevailed, and from a geopolitical theory, it makes sense as well. All right, so essentially what we're working with here is, like we said, the school runs on a dating-based economy, right? A dating-based economy means that you can keep this up. So it's not free market. It's not like it's a stock market yet. There's not anything of that nature. But if we have a dating-based economy, that means what happens in dating will turn into what happens in high school, geopolitics. Essentially, 9th grade has to date upwards, right? Now, there was that whole Sienna thing, right? But, Sienna is mostly seen as a blip on the radar of SSA's intelligence, right? Due to how things shook out with them because of metrics, right? Just more 9th grade boys than 9th grade girls. They have to go upwards to 10th grade. 10th grade, which means leads to the JNC principal. And of course, 12th grade, except for SSA, again, mirror image of 9th grade, except entirely politically and military neutral, and kind of irrelevant to the story. Like, there's only been 2 of the 9th graders, 12th graders mentioned in the story other than Ethan Shea, which is absolutely insane, right? Okay, so basically most of the work is 10th and 11th grade, JVN and GCAM, really, really hyper focus on that. We have SSA. What are they going to do? How are they going to change the event? How are they going to work together in this as well? Also, we have the side plot of Ethan Shea and his project to have a summit together in the mall, right? We also have the side project of a whole bunch of other invasions that are getting planned on starting, right? We have Operation Last Chance, Operation Last Chance 2.0. We have side projects like, how will Ethan Shea make friends in the school? Those are all kinds of side projects, side quests, as they call them in video games, right? Side projects that are going to happen in the school. And of course, GCAM has a lot to do with it. In fact, on April, I want to get the date correct. Let's see. Let's check the calendar here. All right, it is January 4th today. That's a Saturday. I'm going back in time to April 13th. Yeah, because we had a podcast episode on the 12th. Skip. Right. Oh, wow. 12 people here. 12 people. We're talking about the 12th. Wow. Amazing. Anyway, on April 13th, it will become a very, very important day. April 13th, 2024. All right. Anyway, military, politically neutral, and only adhere to Clash of Clans foreign policy. That's a reference to the video game. Of course, as I say, would work with the template. Oh, one more side quest. So also, according to there's the 2024 project. There's the Summit project, working with Denver and GCAM. But there's also one more project to spread democracy and freedom across the world school. Anyway, SSA needs to turn profitable, right? SSA has been doing lots of things for no money. And some of the things that cost money, but it is a business. Okay, we're not a charity here. So there was the whole election thing, right? Election didn't cost money, but it also didn't make money. Then there was the locker mister. Didn't cost too much money because of the whole side tech business that supported it, but it didn't make any money as well. There was all the investigations into the election as well, which also didn't make money. It didn't cost money, but there's lots of these up things here that don't cost money but didn't make money. If we don't make money, then A, we're not profitable, we're not a business, we're just a bunch of kids running around, and B, they can't advance what kind of software that they want to make or what they want to do. Right? Let's say you want a new computer, a new cell phone, anything like that. New software to help with the agency. Well, what money? So we need to hurry up and become profitable. So what we do is we link up, we go in with the most popular kids in the school, and we start having a plan. Also, because of Ava's departure, right? You now have kind of like a split power vacuum within GCam, and unfortunately, we didn't get to explain this well. We're kind of a split power vacuum here because we have Clarissa and Geneva here in 11th grade sector. Oh, and Amala, sorry, forgot about her, and she'll become relevant later on down the line. But now the A is not double anymore because Ava's gone. And then we have Maria here, right? Who is in a really interesting and precarious position. It will become key to the plot of the story here. Like, what kind of position are we going to have here? Like, let's say we have Maria, right? Neutral, but also in GCam. Right. So, you have these people here, that coming together, the whole battle within 11th grade. But anyway, sorry about that. Anyway, the neutral battle within 11th grade, but you also have the people in 10th grade that are not talking about anything, right? So within this neutral geopolitical context, how will she react to, like, say, the neutral JVN powers, the Jayla, and the N, Natalie in the in JVN, right? So this will be really interesting foreign policy. Also means 10th grade is weakened. It is a power vacuum. It is split straight down the middle, right? So, like we said, 9th grade and 12th grade are mirror images. They're all boys. We have 11th grade, basically all girls. Now we have split 10th and 10th grade straight down the middle. 11th grade has most of the political power. They have the presidency, the vice presidency, and a whole bunch of senators on their paper. In fact, 2 out of 3 of the presidential candidates were 11th grade girls, right? The other one, 12th grade, and also a boy. So it's completely irrelevant. All right. Anyway, SSA, Jayla, and Natalie. For a special profitability project, we need more agents in the 10th grade, right? 10th grade is probably going to collapse in a power vacuum, right? In the militarization of GCam. They need to militarize, okay? This is a war, okay? And they're sitting around here watching Instagram reels, okay? I do not understand how that is absolutely at all profitable, okay? And then we got JVN, who, I don't know. Anyway, GCam made no moves recently, nothing. According to public Instagram data, pre-war, a joint GCam JVN summit had been made to a Kendra Scott location at the mall, which is why I investigated Kendra Scott. All right. So, in fact, let's see. Kendra Scott. I didn't even know that was a person. I thought it was some random business or something like that. Okay. I spent my time literally scrolling and investigating Kendra Scott. Anyway. Let's see if we can find him here. Let's go into X advanced search. Anyway, we'll get back to you later. Anyway, we gotta get back to we still have more story to tell, people. More story to tell. Anyway, so there was a summit that was made in Kendra Scott, which Minster was started quickly, but why? We still need to investigate the backstory into why the GCam JVN war even started. Right? We need to know why the war started. Like, we know why lots of wars started, right? But this one, we don't know why. Anyway, both teams got what they wanted. VLS and Congress, Allison president. GCam has the seats in Ally in 12th grade, Ethan Shea. Which means they could have done something more, which would have advantage. And here is what we talk about on CSM. If that CSM account still existed, which is NTV. Anyway, I'm like, what would you do if you were 5 girls and you all had the same amount of political power? If you all had the same amount of political power in the school and you also had control of the news, what would you do? And they're like, take out the trash or something like that. Also, when we go on there and we start going on and yapping about, they start asking me what they want to wear. well, for the summit. Why do I care what they're going to wear? The the they're over here talking about, oh, it's so important. What do you? Is about Maria DeLuca? Okay, no, that's not how this works. Anyway, we're getting off track here. Um, we need to invade GCAM. We should. However, it doesn't deal with the problem of the star basketball player and the number one Devin. For the sake of GCAM and SSA, GCAM must remain strong. However, blah 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 blah. I'm not going to read this whole story to you, okay? It's not a podcast. Anyway, Cody and Clarissa are talking. Geneva left. See, some sort of problems of leaving in some of these stories, right? Maria looking at Instagram reels on the iPad and iMessaging. I sit behind the table inconspicuously. Then Molly walks by, and the most shocking thing happens. They talk to each other, and I find out from the people as they were talking, GCAM had collapsed. The war is over. And yes, from a Christian perspective, because yes, technically this is a Christian novel. It was a good thing. But what really keeps GCAM stable? If GCAM collapses, if GCAM does not have its enemy, what would happen? Like, think about it. Like, USSR. Right? Well, when USA has a point to exist, with or without the USSR. USSR had no point of existing. But what really brings GCAM together? Really, what have they developed as characters in the story? They haven't. Now, true, that's because there's not enough intelligence documents to figure out everything. It's not like we have copies of the text message records. But they cannot, mostly from what we have the story, which is basically based on intelligence documents and based on transcripts and based on comments and based on all of that, we do know what's happening. Also, if they hear this, then they're probably going to sue me. Anyway, back to the next story. Here we have. There's no pause. Anyway, we.
Are you online?
Yeah.
How many people are online?
12. Anyway.
What are you talking about?
To the next story. We arrive back at base, where GCAM's fall is imminent. So we're back at base, and time is running out. Without the threat of JVN, what really held GCAM together.
What are you talking about? This is what are you actually talking about?
A story.
What do you mean? Is this a real life story?
No. Well,
right?
kind of.
What?
It's fake.
Who are these people that listen to it?
It's fiction. How am I supposed to know?
Why? I'm sorry. Are they commenting?
No, I'm only commenting. Anyway.
Dude.
What?
Okay, we'll talk about this later.
Okay, bye. Anyway, I arrived back to base. Oh wow, that's a nice theme. I like how the first sentence is in green. It's good. No one's commented yet. All right, anyway, running out. Without JV and Stuart, what really helped GCAM together. We've already been through this. So we talk about the isolation foreign policy and what's helped by mere prime aspirations. Like, the vacuum left by GCAM will echo on the global stage for years to come, right? Like we talked about, like all these people just leaving and pulling out, then, who's going to be president in 24, 25, 26? Because, if they're not there, I guess you got to get new random people who aren't going to run. Anyway, then we talk about 8th grade, and then we talk about the Valentine's Day national security measures that we can plan. Of course, Sienna's going to come right back into the story. We look at our question that, we have 12 people, 10% of the school, both internal and external relationships. And here is the document, real document, names changed, of course, level 3. So we got, how could did I mess it up? Is his name Devin or Declan? Anyway, we got Allison and external. Okay, it's about it. Anyway, we don't really go into Allison as much. She's kind of like, oh, president, that's important. Anyway, lockers, security, we brought up the lockers, anything like that. Anyway, this article basically sets up the rise of summer. And when summer shows up, things are going to change irrevocably for the school. All right, so that's all for the SSA LTW series for now. Oh, wow, 13 people. Now, we have to see what kind of tech content we can talk about today so that, this stays a tech podcast and not a high school geopolitical podcast. Speaking of, special video will be coming up, maybe on the TWTTB channel. Who knows? But that headline. Basically, I could be a Yale professional now. It can happen, people. It can happen. Anyway, let's see what MKBHD is up to for the new year. Oh yeah, the honey scam. That was bad. Thankfully, I never used it. So there's that. Let's go into some S25 Ultra windows. And as you guys know, they might tune the S20 when it's iPhone 16 E. That might be the iPhone SE. They just gave it a rename. So what do you guys think about that? But here's what the S25 may look like. See the curved, well, no curved edges, unfortunately, but the rounded corners, and it looks like an even flatter S pit. This is obviously S24 here, but S25 coming out this week. This week, guys. So no comments have rolled in for now. I guess this can just be like some type of a special podcast episode. We'll get into the rest of what we need to talk about next week on here. And if you guys have any questions about, the channel or the story, make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment.